What is up, people? You've got the Oracle there, and we are back on MTGO for a new Shadows over Innistrad Draft. This pack is fairly medium, nothing is too impressive. I think the best card is Westfall Abbey. We have two rare because this is a flip card. Scourge Wolf, pretty good, but probably just worse than the Abbey, which can pretty much win game on its own, depending on the setup. The uncommon are not so great. I mean, fixing can be useful. Pale Rider, decent in the Madness deck. Then you have the Arsonist, which are decent. And other than that, that pack is not too impressive. So I'm fine picking up this Westfall Abbey. Someone just passed me Welcome to the Fold. Blue is not so strong in this set, so I could understand people avoiding that. That being said, this card is quite strong. You don't even have to, try to set up Madness or anything. Just stealing something with 2 toughness or less for 4 is already quite decent in this set. Skinner, very good in the Delirium deck. Even if you don't have Delirium, it's a decent creature. And I think those are the two best cards here. I haven't tried out Crawling Sensation yet. I don't think it's good enough, unfortunately. But, one might try that at some point. Killer, I thought it was really bad, and actually it's not that bad. In the right deck, it can be pretty decent. And yeah, this card is better than it looks like. I'm more and more unimpressed by Farborg Revenant. Fine, but not as good as I anticipated to be. Quidwolf, pretty solid green card. All in all, I think the pick is definitely between the Skinner and the Welcome to the Fold. And I think I will go with Welcome to the Fold, which I think is slightly better. At least I kind of want to try out new rares at the beginning of the set. Geist Blast seems like a nice follow-up. If you ever manage to reach 7 mana and can steal 2 creatures using the Geist Blast effect, that sounds extremely sweet. And overall, I think Geist Blast is just the best card of the booster. I mean, Perish Blade is pretty solid. But I think still worse than a Geist Blast. Then you have a bunch of pretty mediocre common. I mean, the Wolf pretty good in the red-green, Werewolf and Wolf deck, I guess. Stitch and Mangler has impressed me more and more. The more I never played that card too much, but I've played against it a lot, and it was always like pretty solid. Scavenger, very good in the Delirium deck, but if you cannot enable it, it's not that great, obviously. But yeah, I think it's pretty clear-cut Geist Blast here. You might notice that blue-red is probably not the best color combination to enable the Westfall Abbey, because you don't tend to have a lot of creatures onto the battlefield. Here I just picked 2 non-creature spells. That being said, that card is just good if you, if you just make a few Cleric and you can already like help some block or even chump block and gain life of that. It's pretty decent. You don't have to be able to transform it to make the land good. This pack is pretty medium. I think the blue and red card are not great, so I think I will just try to pick one of the 2 white cards, which are pretty decent. I think Reaper is better, so I'm gonna go with that. And we'll see what's open. But I might change up my color choice depending on what's open. There was definitely nothing great in blue or red. One of the best cards here I think is Compulsion. That being said, I don't really want to go into black after having taken a red, a blue and a white card. So I think I'll go with Dauntless Qatar, which is very solid. I mean, good 3-drop. 1/1 Spirit Token are pretty good in this set. There's not that many flyers, so they tend to just ping the opponent for 1 each turn, and sometimes they cannot really stop that. And yeah, I've been happy with this human that you can use to produce spirit when they die. Stone Quarry, I guess, is fine if I end up white-red, but I think Qatar seems like the best choice for me here. I'm not too high on Nairis Machination. It's not. I thought it was really bad. I think if you are white-red, it's actually pretty decent. The indestructible effect is pretty annoying. That being said, I don't think I will pick that. I think I will just pick a Moorland Drifter. Decent to drop that becomes better in the later game. I think it's approximately the same power level as Rancid Rats, but as I am not black, I think I like that more. I've seen people like J Scrutiny a decent amount. I think it's fine. but I'm not too high on that. I think I'd rather take a solid 2-drop creature over that. And Gone Missing is fine, but I probably don't want to play 2 or 3 Gone Missing in my deck, as I will want, as not as much, but as much as possible, but at least a decent amount of 2-drop creatures. I like Fox a decent amount, but it has actually decreased in value for me the more I played it. The 1 toughness is actually pretty annoying. There's things like Tooth Collector that destroys that, Dual Shot. Yeah, I think creatures with 1 toughness are not that great in this set, quite risky sometimes, so I'm not sure that I will pick that. Expose Evil, not my favorite thing, but actually I haven't really tested it yet, so I could just pick that and try it out. Not sure which one is better. I think both are definitely better than Deny Existence. I think I'll go with the Fox, just because I have a Westfall Abbey, and having more creature could be a good thing. I don't really know. Honestly, maybe Expose Evil is just a better card. But for now, it's gonna be the Fox. Not Forgotten. Well, I thought this was really bad, and actually, I've seen people played it, not against me, but in other matches and games that I saw, and it was pretty decent. I think it's better than it looks like. I might just pick the True Face Sensor. Yeah, I'm white, so I should end up with a decent amount of humans. And there was nothing else too appealing in the last pack, I think. And this is what we opened. The pack was pretty bad, and there's not much left. I think I will just cut Skeleton, which seems like the more threatening card. There are some combo with that, and that card can be quite threatening. Warp Landscape is not bad. It can be a Delirium enabler, you know, because if you are white, you don't have that many ways to put lands in your graveyard, so I can respect that. Again, I don't think I will go black nor green. So yeah, it seems like a decent pickup. Guidance is not that great, but I guess if I'm aggressive enough, it might make it to the main deck. Same with Chasm. I don't think I want to play the Vessel. Epitaph Golem is not that bad, not great. Overall, I don't think we got much really powerful thing this pack. The 2 first pick were quite nice, but then Blue-Red kind of dried up. I guess we are pretty much in white now. We have some decent creatures, but nothing too crazy. And I guess we could go either blue-white or red-white, or maybe even change up colors completely. Like if I open a Sorin, I would definitely go for black, but I guess it's pretty obvious. Unfortunately, I don't think I want to go green. I don't think the Cultivator is good, but not good enough to make me want to go green. Same with the Cult of Waxing Moon. Skin Invasion is pretty strong. I might just take that and go into red. That being said, I think in general, Welcome to the Fold is stronger than Geist Blast, so I'd rather be blue than you just pay 1 more mana, but instead of killing their 2-drop, you steal it, which is much stronger. So I'd rather be blue than red if I have to choose. And there's a Storm Rider Spirit, which is decent. So I would say that Skin Invasion is stronger than Spirit, but then that Welcome to the Fold is stronger than Geist Blast. And I think, all in all, I'd rather be blue with Spirit and Welcome to the Fold than red with Skin Invasion and Geist Blast. I also do think that blue-white pairs up better than blue-red in this set, at least from what I've seen. So yeah, I guess I'll pick the Spirit, which is not the most exciting first pick, but it's decent. Well, missionaries are really good if you can enable them. I'm not too high on equipment, so I don't like that too much. That being said, I already have 1 equipment that works well with human in general, and probably that thing is pretty decent if you have, I think in blue-white with some humans and some token production, it's pretty good. Like if you can equip that to a spirit, you basically have a Thera Angel. And I guess if I have enough fixing, I could splash the Geist Blast, but now I think I'm pretty much going into white or blue. I think my choice is between the Missionaries and the Illuminator. I think depending on what you have, both cards can have approximately the same power level. Given that I have 1 equipment that goes well with the Missionaries and no card that produces clues, I think I'll go with Missionaries. Also, it's beginning of pack 2, so I could easily be able to pick more humans and more equipment and have more synergies of that kind. Traben Inspector has impressed me a lot this set. It's also a human. Works well with the sensor since it gives you a free body that can become a 2-3 vigilance, which is definitely relevant. Actually a 3-3 vigilance because it's a human. So, and in general that card is like, I thought it was fine because any card that can replace itself is generally fine, but this is even better than that. I've been really impressed with that card. Gargoyle is fine, but I think the Inspector is just better, so I'll go with that. Alright, Silver Strike is fine. I mean, it's quite costly, pretty easy to play around, but it's a decent removal. I don't have that much removal currently, so I could use that. I guess Inquisitor could be good to some extent, especially if I'm playing more than one equipment. Sorry about that. And Captain, I'm not sure which one I would like more between Captain and Inquisitor. I think they are pretty much the same power level. Quite mediocre, but decent card in the right deck. I think I'll go with Silver Strike. I think it's slightly better than 2 mediocre creature, even though it's not amazing by any mean. Broken Concentration is not too great. Like the set is aggressive enough that counterspell are not that good, I think. Droneyard Explorers I think are pretty good, and they are also human, which I can use with the sensor. That would make it for a 4-5 vigilance, pretty solid in set. There's not much that's bigger than that. Axe is an equipment, but if you don't have any madness card, it's fairly weak. And Cloak is pretty weak in general, so I'd rather avoid that. Fox is fine. Expose Evil is probably decent. I need to try that out more, I guess. But I think Explorers are solid and goes well with what I have, so it's gonna be my choice. And here we have two very interesting cards. There's the Catter and the Shepherd. If this was pack 1 first pick, this would not be very exciting because both are fine but not that great. But I think the Shepherd would be better. Now, I currently have 2 as a Spirit, I think. And I have some more synergies with Human. I don't know. I think the Shepherd is better. Even if you have a True Face sensor, the Shepherd is probably better. Yeah, it's quite close, but that card is pretty strong, so I think I'll go with Shepherd. But I would definitely have been happy to pick another Dauntless Scatter. They don't really get worse in multiples. I don't mind, trading those and make a bunch of spirits after that. The black 2/2 for 2 that produces zombie for 4 is slightly more annoying because it costs 4. So if you tend to have a lot of these early on, you will maybe not have enough time to take advantage because 4 mana is quite a lot. But the Katara is pretty easy to, 2 mana is a clue. It's quite easy to make work at some point. Drifter, very fine to drop, especially slightly. I mean, it's slightly better now that I do have the Shepherd, but I think it's definitely better than the Inquisitor Ox. Ooh, Harvest End. That's a pretty late Harvest End. That card is great. I was looking at Strength of Arms, which is, I guess, which would be pretty solid in this deck probably, but Harvest End is amazing. It's a good equipment. And yeah, it's just perfect. It's card advantage. It's everything I like. That card, you can put it in any deck. If you are playing Delirium, it's not that great because you will not get the artifact creature into the graveyard. But in general, I've been really happy with this card. So pretty sweet, pretty sweet. It also works with human. Give them Menace, which is pretty good. So, and I'd be fine playing a Missionaries with 2 other equipment. I don't need thousands of equipment to make them good. Essence Flux works with Spirit, so I guess I could use that. I mean, I guess it's decent with my Spirit. I can protect them and then make them bigger. I haven't played against or played with this card yet, but I would assume it's not that bad. I can use it with the Inspector to get another clue, which is not that bad. So, sounds fine to me. Alright, I think I'll go with Inquisitor there. Not too high on auras. Don't really want to get 2 for 1. And now I have 2 other equipment that works with human, which I think which clearly makes that better. Snapper is fine. I will probably not play it since my deck is actually rather aggressive. But that card is pretty good if you are playing in a more control-y style. Alright, Shard is another playable equipment. I don't think I want it, but... and Westfall Abbey actually produces humans, so there is that. Sweet, so... seems like we have pretty good start for basically the blue-white human spirit archetype, which I think is pretty good. I've lost to this in the final of my the last draft I've played, and yeah, quite aggressive with some late game staying power with things like the spirit production and a bit of card advantage and stuff like that. So pretty solid deck. That pack is pretty solid. If you are black, you have the Witch, which is great. Giza's Beating, pretty strong. Inner Struggle, good removal. So all the uncommons are great. There's also the Reaper, which might be my pick, and Angelic Purge, which I think are the two best choice for me. I mean, Geist is strong, it will be fine in my deck, but I think those two are better. Homunculus is fine, but probably worse too. So yeah, I think it's definitely between the Purge and the Reaper. And I don't really know which one is better. Currently I don't have that much removal, so I kinda wanna take the Purge. Purge works decently with Inspector because you can sacrifice the clue. You can use it with Spirit Producer thing to get a spirit to sacrifice. If your curve is low enough, you can just sacrifice a land. I've been happy with this card and impressed with it, and I don't have that many removals, so maybe I want that over another 5-drop flyer. Not sure if it's right. I think in general the Reaper is stronger, but given the deck I'm playing, this might be better. Especially since here I'm gonna pick another 5-drop flyer, which is the... oh, there's a Sleep Paralysis still. It's not as easy as I thought. This pack is also very strong, so someone passed me an Elzif Tormentor, quite great rare, really hard to deal with. Gloom Widow, pretty good. Graph Maul is insane. That thing is insanely powerful. In the right deck, it's nearly unbeatable. Very, very strong card. Try it out if you haven't yet. Geist is good again, it would be fine in my deck, but I think Emissary is better in general. Emissary is also pretty suited with Essence Flux to some extent, so I could definitely use that, because it's an enter the battlefield effect. So yeah, I think it's between the Paralysis and the Emissary. And I think I'll go with the Emissary. Had I taken Reaper last pack, I would take Paralysis here, but since I took the Purge, I think I will go with the creature. That thing, can potentially produce 2 creatures, which is good for the Westfall Abbey too. So yeah, that sounds pretty solid for my deck. I don't want to stack up too many more 5-drop, but 3 is fine. And here I think I'll pick another Purge. I mean, you don't want to have 4 or 5 of these because they can become clunky if you have too many, but I think 2 is completely fine. Press for Answer would be a decent addition. Maybe I would play a second True Face Sensor, but I think Purge is the best option for me here. Ooh, Altered Ego would be a sweet card to splash for. That being said, I'm playing a colorless land and I only have a landscape, I think. So not sure how good this is as an idea. I'm not sure if it's a good idea, that's what I meant. Heirloom is fine. I guess it's really strong, obviously, really strong combo with the missionaries, but I don't think I want to play more equipment. And I have absolutely no cards that flips except for the missionaries, so I think I would rule that out. Sorry for the weird accent, I did not mean to do that. That was weird. But I have some issue with my voice for the last week. It's been a bit painful. Either way, I think the pick is between Observer and Captain. I think I'll go with Captain. I have a decent amount of 5-drop creatures, flyer, so I think Captain looks slightly better. And here I think I will pick Just a Win. I think it's better than a Qatar's Companion. And well, I could definitely have used some more 2-drop creature. And Just a Win doesn't act as a 2-drop really, because you want to cast that later on most of the time. But it's a way to kind of deal with things on the board at instant speed. It's a decent trick, I like that, I think. Better than Companion. Geist Blast, pretty late Geist Blast here. but not really red, and I will not splash for my Geist Blast. Alright, that's quite interesting, because Emissary I think is better than Drifter, but at this point I need to drop more than 5 drop. So I think it's gonna be the Drifter. I don't think this deck will get to have Delirium very often, but it's a Spirit which works well with the Flux and my Shepherd, so it's something, I guess. And I'm happy to try out that card. I have no idea how good it is, but I guess we'll have an answer after this draft, hopefully. Unless I get tossed on my neck, not playing anything the first 2 games. That pack is still pretty strong. I mean, Rancid Rat, Throttle, Wolf, and again I think Emissary is in general better, but looking at my curve I think this is slightly more appealing. And I think I'll take Puncturing Light here for the same reason. Don't really want another 5 drop. Captain is fine, but yeah, I think Light is decent. And I think I have just the good amount of mix between creature and removal and trick, and I'm quite happy with the deck, and I think it's what I'm gonna end up playing. Unruly Mob was very strong in the, I mean, not very strong, but good in the old Innistrad. And actually in this Innistrad, I've been extremely unimpressed with this card. Like, it has been really weak for me. So I think I will not pick it. I will just not care about it. And I will probably cut something. Maybe the Crow, which is decent. Ooh, Geist is sweet. I think I like that more than Inspiring Captain. That thing is pretty solid with Flux. If you have another Spirit, you can make it bigger, get another trigger. It looks pretty good in my deck. Ooh, another one? Alright, alright. So I might change up things, actually. Guess Not Forgotten could be a sideboard option against Delirium deck. Observer is fine, but I think I just like the Geist slightly more. And now I do need to make some choices. Alright, so I need to cut 3 cards. This might not be good, but I really want to try it out, and I think if it's good, it's probably in a deck like this, because I have a bunch of spirits, so there is that. I think I can cut an Inquisitor. They are pretty weak. They don't really get better in multiples, because unless you have 2 equipment, you cannot really equip both of them. So I think I can easily cut one of these, especially since I have a decent amount of 3 drop and 2 drops. I don't think I want to cut any of my 2 drop, honestly. I could see myself cutting the Captain. It's a human, it's fine, but it's not great. It's not easy. Definitely want to keep Welcome to the Fold. Explorer, sorry, Explorer is more of a defensive card, though. Putting Clue onto the battlefield is pretty good with Purge. It's also a card that works kinda well with Essence Flux to some extent. Maybe I just don't want to play Silver Strike in this deck. Because when I picked that I had no removal, but now I have 2 Purge and just the Wind and a Puncturing Light. And all of these are better in an aggressive deck. And I think my deck, the goal of my deck is just to attack, and I don't really see my deck wanting to pass with 4 mana open. So I think I will leave that in the sideboard and putting it back if the matchup requires it. But even if that card is pretty good and I picked it quite highly, I think it's not that great in this specific deck. And I need to cut one more card because I definitely want to play 17 land and not less than that, especially since Westfall Abbey is a you know, it's a spell land, if you will. Alright. Well, I guess the weaker card in my deck is Inquisitor. That being said, I don't want to really go under for 3 drops. Missionary seems pretty solid. Maybe I just cut the Captain, which I think is one of the other weaker cards. I guess if you have a bunch of flyer and you are aggressive, that card is pretty good. Captain might just be better than Explorer in my deck. Captain is also pretty sweet with Essence Flux, actually. Yeah, so you have a it makes the Essence Flux being +1/+1 to each creature. That's sweet. That's probably an even better interaction than with the Explorer. So even though the Explorer are pretty good, works well with Flux and True Face Sensor and Harvest Hand, I guess, to some extent, I think they are the weaker card of my deck, and I want to keep all my 3 drops. Want to keep my 1 drop, want to keep my 2 drop, and 3 drops. So yeah, I think I'll go with that. And I think that the thing is, Explorer is definitely better than Inquisitor, but Inquisitor is better on the curve, so there is that. And Inquisitor is a bit more aggressive. So it's definitely between these two, I think. Do I want this or that? I think I'll go with the more aggressive solution. It might not be right. The good news is that I have some option. Like, if I'm on the draw facing up an even more aggressive player, I can easily put in Silver Strike, Observer, Explorer, and make my deck much more control-y and better for the late game. Ethereal Guidance could be good in this deck, by the way, but I think I have enough cards here. I'm not gonna try it out. As for mana, well, Welcome to the Fold is kinda clunky because double blue is pretty clunky when I'm mostly splashing blue. But I think it's still worth it. Like, that card is powerful enough. Maybe I should just not play too much blue. I could play mono white actually if I want to. I could easily cut my 4 blue cards and add those 4 white cards. And my deck would be slightly weaker, but more consistent, actually. That might be actually the right thing to do. Welcome to the Fold is pretty strong, though. And I really wanted to try out Essence Flux, so I think I'll go with that. Probably not 4-11. I think 9-7 sounds good. It might be hard to cast Welcome to the Fold sometime. I don't have much white requirement except for the Reaper. Yeah, that sounds fine. So, 18 lands, so I messed up some. Yeah, I cut a plains, no problem. 9 white sources should be enough. Alright, so there's not much time left, so I'm gonna submit. This is the deck, I'm quite happy with it. I hope you enjoyed this draft. If you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe, and I see you guys in a few seconds for round 1. Thank you for watching.